everyone, it's Kristi. Today I want to make or attempt, I should say, to make the mini folio that I saw Gail Agostinelli make a couple days ago. And I don't remember where she said she got the idea, but I'll link her tutorial below. But I printed out, and I don't know if I'm just forgetting how to do things or what, but I cropped one of these background pages, and I cropped it to 6.5 by 6.5 because that's the size of paper that you needed, and I wanted to make sure that we used one that was from the kit. It still prints it out 8 by 8 no matter what I do, and I think it has something to do with the fact that it's set to borderless, but now I can't remember how to take the borderless printing off. So anyway, we'll just trim it down to what we need. I believe Gail's dimensions were 6.5 by 6.5. So let me see. This, I'm going to trim it so I can see what size it came out, so I know how to cut it down. Because I printed it several times and it just kept coming out the same size. If I did it borderless, it came out bigger. So, well, not borderless, but if I did the regular just print, it came out borderless. So I set it on 8 by 10, but if I set it any smaller than 8 by 10, like 5 by 7, then I get one side's 5 inches and I need 6.5 squares. So I'm not sure exactly what happened. Okay, so this comes out at, printing it on 8 by 10, it came out 8 1/8. So I'm just gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I am going to fold it in half, and then I'm going to trim it down to the size I want. So it wouldn't be a big deal except for there's a line down the middle of it. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Where's my bone folder? There it is. Not where it belongs. And I don't know where the big one is. Good thing I have so many tools. Okay, so because this was 6.5, I should be trimming it down on the right side. Okay, to 3 1/4. So let's do 3 1/4. Okay, I'll trim that. I'm gonna lose a couple of my flowers, but I'm gonna keep these little pieces. Okay, so now this side needs to be, and it's 8 1/4 as well, and it needs to be 6.5, 7.5. So I need to cut off, like, gosh, a lot. Let's try cutting off that first. And I don't want that piece. And then I'm not really worried about the bottom because I'm folding it up. So let's just do 6.5. Oh, that's going to take a lot of the flowers off though. I'm going to lose a lot of what I've got. Well, maybe not. Alright, I'll use it in something else. So, okay, so 6.5. Okay. So this would have been easier if I just used scrapbook paper, but since I'm using the background paper, it's a little different. Okay, so bring up my scoreboard. Okay, so this is supposed to be 3 1/4. I can't even read my own measurements on my, let me do that again. Oh, I know why, because 3 1/4 is this line, and I did it to the dot. So let me try taking off 1/4 inch. I'm going to open it because sometimes it goes crooked. Look at this. like I said, this would be way easier if you just start with a 6.5 by 6.5. So, all right, now we've got that. All right, scoreboard. So I want to score up from the bottom 1.5 inches. So here's my scoring tool. So 1.5, that's at the 5. Okay. So I'm going to fold that up. Use my bone folder there. Now the easiest way to get this even is just to fold it in half and cut from the corner here, like so. Then you've got your little flaps. Okay, so the next part of this is sewing. So I am going to go ahead and sew. And what I'm going to do is sew this edge first. Yes, sew this edge first, then fold it up because that will be sewn, and then I will sew around the entire thing. So I am going to do that, and I had some ephemera sitting here. Let's see here, where did I put it? Oh, I pulled some of the ephemera from the kit. So I thought I would tuck this in. These are just 2 journal cards. There's a tag. This is the top of that other bookmark, and I've got some tickets that I'll be putting in the pockets. And then I went ahead and printed out some of these. Which ones do I want to use? Ooh, I like that butterfly one. So maybe I'll use that one. I'll cut that one out. And the way I do this is, I have a black clipping mask, and I just attach the background paper to it, and then I get my shapes for the extra tickets here. Okay, so I want to go ahead and sew around this ephemera. That's why I want to go ahead and cut this out. Let's see, which other one do I want? Do I want them both to be butterflies? Because there's another butterfly right there. I like that one. I'm just going to cut this piece off here completely. And yes, I'm cutting with my used to be sewing scissors, but they haven't been sewing scissors for many years. But my paper scissors are giving me troubles, so I'm going to use this one. And I do have fabric scissors that I use just for the fabric in the other room. I keep my good fabric scissors by the sewing machine. That way I don't accidentally use them for cutting. So, okay, so I'm going to use these two, and I want to ink around those. I've inked around everything else. I really like this paper. I know, I said that already. And I always say, oh, I love this kit, it's so cool, it's so beautiful, it's so this, it's so that. Well, but here's the thing, I don't buy a kit I don't like, so every one of them I love. Otherwise I wouldn't have bought it in the first place. So, okay, so there, those are inked. And let's see, probably should ink this a little bit before it might be a little bit easier before I sew. And the sewing is optional. You don't have to sew this, this kit can stand on its own, I think, without the sewing, but I just like it. But if you don't like it, skip it, because, make it your own. That's the point. okay. Let's see, go down that centerpiece. Did I get it all? Yeah. Do I want to ink in here? I don't know, we'll see. I didn't print a color in here. I just left them white because I've left all the tags and everything white. So I think I'm just a little rest because there is a lot of color going on in this kit. So all right, so I am going to go sew these pieces and I will be right back. You won't even know I'm gone. Okay, I'm back. Boy, am I out of practice using that old sewing machine. I think I'm going to go ahead and ink this. Just around the edges. Nothing major. I'm using a gray thread. However, it has kind of a purpley tint. And also, I always use the pre-wound bobbins, so those are really thin and white, and it doesn't, oh, you can see a little bit. It shows enough. But you can see I started out here and I was like, that's not a zigzag stitch, and it was so tiny. I don't know. I can't see the little buttons on there. Anyway. Okay, so I've got some stuff here. I've got these cards. I'm going to trim off a little bit of these strings. I've got a journal card there. And journal card there. And I've got tag, and on these tags, guys, I was so excited yesterday because I found my purple staples, and yes, these are close to my heart. I have a close to my heart. It's a rotatable staple. It does some fancy stuff that I've never used, but I just want to put some little bit. This is the stuff I found at the Dollar Tree yesterday, the sachet. Remember these ruffle scarves? I made a bunch of them one year for Christmases, but I just want to use a little bit of it, if I can find the end. Use a little bit of it for, maybe for the topper. But you see how it opens up? This stuff is really cool. I love this stuff. But yeah, I think I'm just going to use a little piece of it for the topper here. I'm going to cut off maybe 2 inches. And just put that on there. And I'm going to kind of bunch it up. I don't know, this may not work. We'll see. This might be better for something else. We'll see. See if I can get it. If I can get it under the staple thingy. Well, like that. Without stapling my fingers. And just staple I can get it. Oh, I knew this was going to be a problem. I think that's why I stopped using the stapler. Oh no, it went. Okay. Yeah. So that just gives it a little texture. Let's see if we can do the next one. Do we dare tempt fate? This one actually might be easier because it wasn't the end of the. It wasn't the end. But I feel like I need to. Yeah, it's stuck in there. That's the same problem. These are like standard size staples, and I used to be able to use them in my my regular stapler, but for some reason, all of a sudden, they're acting up. And I've had these for years and I've used them, but for some reason I stopped using them, and I think it was because it kept getting kind of jammed. So I don't know if they still sell this or not. Let's try getting that in there. One. Spread that out a little bit. And on the other side. Yeah, I didn't like that one. That one didn't take. Sorry about the sighing. Frustration. There's something in there. Nope. Okay, I might be able to get another one in. There we go. Okay. So there we go. And I'm not worried if, some of it is not attached, because the majority of it is. Okay, so we've got that. And this might be better served as lace. I was hoping I could use that as something else, but okay, so let's see. I've got this little card. Stick that in there. I don't want to put too much stuff in here, and the reason being, I don't want it to be, hugely stuffed, but I just want to put a few things in here. So this one has a hole, but the hole is offset. I don't know. What do I want to do there? I want to put something in there. I'm going to go ahead and do it offset. Because that's where it is. Okay, let me get these, make sure these get in the trash and not on the carpet where they can attack me. Alright, let me find some skinny, here we go. Let's use some of this. And I usually use maybe a 6-inch piece. There we go. Stick that one in there. Actually going to trim off a little bit of that because it's a little long. Okay, and then I have the tickets that I've sewn around. My sewing machine kept taking the thread and making a nest at the beginning, so I'm sure my tension must be a little off. But I fixed that. I just used a piece of fabric for a leader, and then I didn't have to worry about it. So, okay. So I think that looks good. Now, she put a belly band kind of belt thing on it, and I was thinking it kind of looked like tickets. So I was thinking, what if, and I was just going to see if it's big enough, what if I did this and just kind of overlapped it on the back and then glued it? So we'll see. Let's try it. If it doesn't work, plan B. Actually, I don't want this one. This one has the seam down the middle. Let me find another one here. Let me use these two. I probably should make some little scrunchy flowers again too, because I have a bunch of those circles. I did find that although the rosettes were fun to make. They're a little thick for the journal, but those flowers, those scrunched up flowers, they flatten out a little bit, so they work a little bit better. I mean, I guess it depends on how much you're going to add to your journal. Okay, so I'm going to punch a hole in these together so that they will be aligned. Ideally. Alright, so let's see. I want a little bit longer piece because I want to tie a bow. So let's see. If I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. I should know by now that that's 8 inches. Okay, so let's ink these. Sorry. Okay. Get rid of all the white edges. This also will add a little bit more color where I've got the plain paper on there. Okay. Alright, so these are going to be tied together. So I think what I'm going to do real quick, they just came together like this for the belly band. So I think I'm going to tape them down. This washi tape doesn't stick at all. Hopefully it'll stick long enough for me to tie these together. Okay, so I'm going to insert. Probably should have done that before I taped it down, but you can learn through my mistakes. Okay. Okay. Is that? Yeah. And I may not even tie a bow. Because ideally, this belly band, yeah, I didn't leave it long enough. I'm just going to tie a knot. Ideally, the belly band should slide on and off. You don't need to untie this. So I am going to do it like so. Okay. Now, we will wrap this around. And we'll probably have to trim some off because we're not going to need that much overage. That looks pretty much like in the middle. There we go. Oh yeah, that's actually pretty good. Okay, so I am going to get out the glue, and I will do this edge and this edge and attach. Make sure that's lined up. I've got it a little bit loose in case we want to stuff it some more, and I'm going to reuse this just until that dries. Make sure that it stays. But there we go. So that's my version of Gail's mini folio. And I don't know whose version it was prior to that, but I will link her video below. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.